vinyl community, I'm back to do a recent vinyl finds video, and this is the third time I'm doing this. So this is the last time also, I guarantee it. They get so damn long because I talk too much. But yeah, we had our Easter holiday last weekend, so we got 2 days extra. So I had some time playing some records. Because it's only been 1 week since I did my last recent vinyl finds, but I want to file these, so yeah, let's get right into it. Half of this is going to be like prog, psych, rock, pop, and the other half is going to be jazz. So let's start off with the rock. As I said in my last video, I'm selling 800 records for a buddy of mine's dad, and I get a percentage of the sales. Now, in that collection, I'm keeping some of the stuff from his collection, like 40 records maybe, something like that. So with the earnings of the selling, I pay him for the records I keep. So up to this date, selling 70, 80 records, I haven't made a single cent yet, because everything has gone into records in this collection. But I couldn't pass this up in the collection. This cost nothing, and it's in mint condition. The Moody Blues In Search of Lost Chord from 1970, maybe 69, 68. Their second release, if I'm not mistaken, on DRAM. This is a late 70s reissue. I'm just guessing now, but late 70s, in like mint condition. I can't really sell it because you don't get anything for it, and I refuse that someone gets this for like $3 in this condition. The music quality is fantastic. I have a sort of, I think a first press, UK press of this in pretty good condition, but not in mint condition. So even if it's a reissue, it sounds terrific. I'm keeping it. And the same goes with this. I tried to sell this. No one bought it for even $5. So I bought it from him after the sale was over, and no one bought it. This is Supertramp's Indelibly Stamped from 1971. More of a heavy rock kind of thing. More than the poppy sort of, a little bit progressive Supertramp from the late 70s, early 80s. AM records. Iconic classic cover because of the titties. You know the deal. But no one wanted the titties for $5, so I offered myself to keep it. And lo and behold, I don't own a single Creedence record, but now I own like 5. I found these in his collection, and this is just classic stuff. I actually grew up with this. My dad played Creedence all the time, and I grew a sort of resentment to my father's music. I wanted to find my own voice, and on that path I found Nirvana and other punk rock, and then metal, and then you know the deal. Now I listen to free jazz, and he doesn't understand anything, but and he still listens to Creedence. But I'm 35 now, and I'm really starting to get what this is. I mean, there's not a bad moment on this. This is a masterpiece. I mean, Cosmos Factory, classic sort of rock record. Yeah, so that goes into the collection, along with 4 others that I haven't played yet, so I'll show those in the future. I won't even take this out. This is from 1976, originally released I think in 1972. This is Nuggets, original artifacts from the first psychedelic era, 65 to 68. 2 LP set with just a compilation of psych material. You have the Blues Magoos, the 13th Floor Elevators, the Seeds, Shadow of the Night, the Standells, Mouse, the Blues Project, Chocolate Watch Band, and so forth. I would love this with the original artwork, because I think that's much more interesting than this shit. I think this is maybe a Dutch reissue. But the music is great. You can just put it on there on the turntable and do other things and just let it flow through the speakers. Great compilation of psychedelic material and garage rock. And the things you love and find, you can just venture on and research and try to get the original first presses of those. Good luck. But you know the deal. Oh, I got a message. This record started off, I mean, when I went through the guy's collection of 800 records, sorting them in different piles, I stumbled on this, and I just knew that whatever happens to this collection, if I'm getting it or somebody else, I have to buy this from him. And I'm glad I did, and it worked out fine. This is The Piper at the Gates of Dawn with Pink Floyd, 1967. And this is a 1977 reissue with 2 boxed EMI logos. UK press, sounds terrific. And I actually didn't have this with the original artwork. I just have the nice pair compilation with the 2 first records of theirs. So getting this with the original artwork was fantastic. And it's kind of pricey, but not super pricey. And early, but not super early. So you know what I mean. But it's nice to not have to go out and get a new reissue of that, if you know what I mean. I like when things have a little bit of age to it. That's always more fun. And the same goes with this. This was also one that I knew that I was going to buy from him. The Electric Light Orchestra. I think this is the second release that they did. UK first press with that sort of structured cover. 1971? Yeah, 71. Gatefold. And very nice, like sort of textured sleeve on the Harvest label. Very nice find. This is the best ELO record in my opinion. I mean, I love the sort of commercially viable pop records that Jeff Lynne did in the late 70s, early 80s. Really good, strong songs, pop songs. But this is progressive, bluesy, and baroque poppy, and I guess more a Roy Wood record than anything else. Fantastic. And talking about fantastic, that's a word I use a lot, but why would I buy crap records? Like why would I buy shit? This is I like to buy fantastic records and get in the collection. And this is fantastic in my opinion. Electric Mud, 1969 maybe, 68, maybe 70, 68. Yeah, 68. Muddy Waters, Electric Mud. Can only do one thing at a time. Just a guy. Muddy Waters didn't like this when it went out because Cadet Records wanted to commercially bring up Muddy Waters, this classic blues guy with these heavy songs, blues songs. And they knew about Cream and The Who and Rolling Stones, and they were just like taking over the world. So how could they use their artists to meet the sort of the young audiences? Yeah, they record a record with Muddy Waters, but backed up with these young and hungry musicians that play psychedelic rock. And the blend is fantastic. You have fussed out guitars and hard hitting drums. But with the great songs by Muddy Waters and his sort of gritty and muddy voice, then the blend is just fantastic. The blues guys, when this came out, hated it, and Muddy Waters hated it, and it sold pretty well, but not that well. And what we are left with today is just a masterpiece of a record, really. And I would love to, that's a reissue, I would love to have an original press, or at least an early press of that with the gatefold and him on the inside, but very hard to find, very hard to find. That was actually from the hash smoking guy. I think I paid $5 for that. Played maybe once. Now it's been played 10 times. Okay, so jazz records. It's kind of funny with me because I tend to like only play prog records, and then I get into a psych period, and I only play and buy psych records, and that's like, and I only read about psych, but the jazz has always been like, I always ventured back to jazz when I get bored with the like rock music and pop music. I just stumble back to jazz, and so now I'm in a big, like, huge jazz kick again. And I found this Cecil Payne's Zodiac on Strata East from 1973, with Kenny Dorham, Albert Heath, Wynton Kelly, Cecil Payne, obviously, and Wilbur Ware. And this was recorded in 1968, but released on Strata East 1973. This is a first US press, and you know that because on the back side you have the logo to the left of the picture, or the illustration, and you have 3 rows of text here. On the second press from 1976 you have Strata East in the middle, in the center, and only 1 row of text. So that's how you know it's a first or a second press. And there's the label there. This is a great sort of hard bop record, not a bad moment on it really. The first track that is dedicated to Martin Luther King is actually the worst song on the record, and that's a great song, but it just goes off from there. And it's sort of a ballady kind of take, and the other ones are more bopping. Very gritty and muddy in the sound, and which I've found the Strata East records I've heard has that sort of like a little bit more muddy sound to it, but it suits Cecil Payne's sax playing perfectly, in my opinion, because it's not that beautiful sort of tone he has. He has a more I don't know what to say, but unschooled. It's obviously not, but yeah, muddy sound. Check it out, and maybe you get what I mean. From that hash smoking guy, I also found this Gene Russell, Talk to My Lady. Got this for like $15. This was probably the find of that sort of digging. With Henry Franklin, and you have Calvin Keys, Charles Weaver, and Gene Russell on it. 1973 on Black Jazz Records, and I never see Black Jazz, so this was so cool to find. Great record. It's a sort of a soulful jazz record with bits and pieces of funk. You have the second track, Get Down, the bass and the drum on that is just killer. Really, really good. Check it out. Fantastic jazz record. And online find one that's been on my want list for ages. This is Eternal Now with Don Cherry, Christer Boten, Christer Botén, and Bengt Berger. With Bernt Rosengren, the famous sax player from Sweden, playing on one song, and the second one on the first side called Love Train. Awesome. Recorded in Sweden 1973, released 1974 on Sonnet Records. Actually a second press. This is, I mean, Don Cherry, when he was in Sweden, you know that sort of sound. He did like this sort of world fusion-y kind of spiritual almost records, blending the sounds from New York with the free sounds of New York with the sounds of Swedish folk music and Turkish and yeah, more like African rhythms. And you have this on here, and with different sort of, I think, African instruments also, like tarago, Tibetan bell, and a piano, a saxophone. Okay, you get the thing. If you know like organic music, this is sort of that, but with a trio. Great. And the last ones, I bought 8 reissues of Blue Note records for, at an average, I think $15 a piece. And I mean, they span from 1977. I think that the latest one was to not latest, the oldest one, and to 2017. That sort of 75-year-old anniversary that they did. So different pressings, but all sounds good, especially on my my equipment. I have very good sound now through my speakers. I mean, the receiver, the record player, and my speakers are. I'm really happy about it now. And even like new pressings like this sounds great. So I compare this to like buying, instead of buying a CD, I can buy these on vinyl instead, and it sounds probably as good, but you get the vinyl instead of the CD. So this is Joe Henderson's Page 1 with Kenny Dorham, Butch Warren, and Pete LaRocca from 1960. Let's say 1960, and everything is fine from there. Yeah, let's say 1960. Great one. The first track, called Blue Bossa by Kenny Dorham, is awesome. I also bought Dippin' with Hank Mobley. Also has Lee Morgan and Billy Higgins on it. Yeah, great artwork. And this was, my mind was blown by this. I had no expectations at all. It was a Blue Note record. I just bought it. I bought everything that he had, all 8 that he had for that price. True Blue by Tina Brooks. Freddie Hubbard, Duke Jordan, Sam Jones, and Art Taylor. Really good. Fantastic record. Check it out if you haven't heard it and you're a Blue Note fan. The second side was almost better than the first side, but just stellar music. And the last one I'm going to show you today, I have 2 more that I haven't played yet, so in a future video, who knows. AT's The Light, Art Taylor, Dave Burns, Stan Tiotin, Wynton Kelly, Paul Chambers, and Potato Valdez. Also really good. Yeah, fantastic. And what a great artwork. I mean, they were masters at this kind of minimalistic almost, but just, and working with the fonts, just fantastic. Yeah, you know Blue Note. So that's it. Hope you liked something that I showed. And please comment if you have any comments, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.